So the question has to be asked, why on earth was Rudd chosen in the first place? All this was out on the internet for the world to see, and still, somehow, Rudd ended up our top diplomat. Well, his position as ambassador is now completely untenable, and it's his own fault, as it always is with Kevin Rudd and his ego. He probably has to sidestep his own ego just to fit through doors. And if he thinks that by deleting any and all evidence of his past comments about Donald Trump that all will be forgiven, he's mistaken. Donald Trump is no fool. Call him what you want, like him or loathe him. But this is a man who has built his career on fostering strong relationships with people who show him respect. So you can hardly blame him for these comments.
He won't be there long if that's the case. I don't know much about him. I heard he was a little bit nasty. I hear he's not the brightest bulb, but I don't know much about him. But if he's at all hostile, he will not be there long.
And it's this sort of arrogance by Rudd that makes his appointment by Albo dangerous. Rudd slandered Trump on the world stage, told the world he was destructive. The Australia-US relationship is so important, so why on earth would Trump be willing and likely to pick up the phone or meet with Kevin from Queensland, Kevin from Australia, when he's been slandered by the man? I've got to say, there's only two idiots who need to go back to their villages, and that's Albanese and Rudd. And let's be honest, Kevin and his ego won't go voluntarily, but he certainly can't delete his way out of this one. It's time for Albo to take some advice from Trump and say, hey, Kev, you're fired. Now, look, I've got to say, it appears that the ghosts of the Rudd-Gillard-Rudd era are circling again, because the resolve of Labor's border is being tested, with 4 foreign nationals arriving in a remote part of the Northern Territory on Monday. It is understood that these 4 individuals were located on the remote Croker Island, around 250 kilometres northeast of Darwin, by traditional owners. And there are reports that the arrivals told locals on the island they paid someone to be taken to Australia. It is believed they arrived by boat. Now, the group are apparently no longer here, but here we go, right before an election. It was indeed revealed in Senate estimates last week that there have been 22 confirmed illegal boat arrivals since the federal election in May 2022, all under that failed Andrew Giles experiment. And now here we go again under Tony Burke. But gee, I wish someone in charge of the borders was like this man, Thomas Holman, Donald Trump's brand new border czar, the man tasked with deporting millions of illegals from the country. He's a former police officer and immigration official, and a man who means business.
I've seen some of these Democratic governors say they're going to stand in the way. They're going to make it hard for us. Well, a suggestion: if you're not going to help us, get the hell out of the way, if we're going to do it.
And here he is again, not mincing his words.
We have seen one estimate that says it would cost $88 billion to deport 1 million people a year.
I don't know if that's accurate or not.
Is that what American taxpayers should expect?
What price do you put on national security? Is that worth it?
Is there a way to carry out mass deportation without separating families?
Of course there is. Families can be deported together.
And look, I've got to say, that's how you'd expect a person in charge of borders to speak. No nonsense, serious, and ready to act. It's really great to see adults back in charge of an office somewhere in the world.